the album came out on the 18th of September, so it's been out for a little while. It's called Hello Weakness, You Make Me Strong. And what's it been like putting out this record in this environment? Especially you guys are in New York, so what's happening there?
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's a bizarre time. I mean, I think we're so used to following the release of something with some touring. So it's definitely, there's that. And we're doing our live streaming and things and clapping for each other a lot in the loft. And it's a little anticlimactic, but, it's also, there's something, interesting about, reaching people during this time. And we are feeling quite, grateful for a lot of the connection we've had with people who have reached out and been listening. So it's been unique.
Yes, it's unique. Yeah. That's one way to put it. Very good. So give me a little background on the making of the record. The songs that are on it, when were they written and recorded?
Through what? Like a year and a half process. We came off of tour and off of our last record and kind of went in to write for a concentrated period of time, and then finished that after about a year and kind of bring these songs to life and expanding our producer, palette. Yeah. People. And then right as we were about to, get ready to put it back out, there was a little bit of a pushback in our timeline because of, what was going on and the uncertainty of the coming months. And we were, just about ready to go out there when we were, told to get back inside.
Yeah. All the songs were written and sort of demoed out here in this space. So I think there's, something a little bit bittersweet about us remaining here during this time. This is where we cultivated the work, and at least we have each other and we have our art. And the body of work was conceived here. So it's nice to, put it out.
Yeah. Well, it is nice that you're together for this thing, because a lot of people are on their own and they're struggling. Yeah. So it's nice that the new music is out there for folks who need it these days. So
so many people can't be with their collaborators right now, and we're so used to it, we don't realize that we should be maybe more grateful for that, because this is just people know not to ask us, like, how have you guys been doing all holed up together? It's like, this is our norm. We're used to it. Yeah, we're fine. We wrote an album.
That's good. That's good to hear. And I noticed that of the 10 songs, they're all one single word titles. It's kind of got an elegance about the fact. Did you plan on that?
Gracie's very elegant. That was totally Gracie's idea.
Oh, really?
I think it started to happen organically. There were just like standout words. And when you're writing and we haven't figured out what this song is going to be yet, and we're still evolving it, you call things really short names, like whatever words stuck out before really maybe figuring out the final title.
Like a nickname.
Nickname, so we just would start going, that floating song, or that, whatever song, stranger song. And then it started to feel like that was a really interesting thing that, it's such a long title too, that these are like little chapters maybe, into that statement of Hello Weakness, You Make Me Strong. They're little like
sound bites
and entry points.
I didn't think you wanted to maybe correct me if I'm wrong, like also be too descriptive about what a song is about. You wanted to maybe have a little bit of elusiveness around each song and have them speak to you in whichever way it finds you.
Totally.
Right. That's kind of the impression I got. Because the songs themselves are pretty specific and pretty descriptive in themselves. Yeah. So maybe you don't need to have that much in the title, I guess.
Yeah, just listen.
And so the songwriting itself, how does it work with you guys?
Oh, it's different.
Many different faces.
Yeah. I think our first record was much more straightforward, with each of us kind of bringing a song idea to each other and then, filling it out or whatever it was. But
I think typically it was you, writing at the piano, and then I would come and create some accompaniment, and then we would figure out harmonies together and augment with some percussion.
That was the first record, and this one was like, way more intentional, just as far as like we were gonna just write that day, even if we weren't feeling inspired, and a lot more assignments for ourselves. And Rachel became really savvy in Ableton and doing a lot of the production, so she would just go into her room for days and I wouldn't see her, and she'd come back out with 5 new tracks, and we would, I would write to them, or she'd have melodies pre-set, and it was fun because I could just kind of like fill in the blanks and figure out what I was feeling like would be cool to say. And so
Yeah.
different entry points, or still have those moments where we go to the piano, one of us, brings the other a song and we ornament or whatever, but a lot of different entry points for this one that was new and exciting for us. And I think
Sounds like a nice way to work together, though.
yeah, it's good. I think it takes pressure off in a way, because you're just kind of throwing things at the wall and hoping, to find stuff that sticks without being too precious all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So is most of the sounds that we hear on the record made by the two of you, or do you have other people on as well?
It really depends on the song.
Yeah. We're on all of them.
Oh yeah.
But thank goodness, that would be strange. But we brought in, a wonderful little cast of, producers and collaborators, and we collaborated at the onset with some, writing friends and producers. But yeah, we.
I think as the process went deeper, we became a lot more in control of our art and our sound. So
Right.
certain songs, especially in the later period of this writing, retreat, was I think a lot more our, from our perspective in our domain. And then, we will always work with producers who can layer things in or, imagine bigger, fuller sounds. But yeah.
Yeah. And you played the violin, correct?
Yes.
So the violin works its way into a lot of these songs, and I'm wondering if you think about that, because it's a somewhat unique situation. Most people places have guitars and keyboards, and that's about a few. So do you think
Totally.
about that when you're writing the songs, that you need to find a place for it, or how is the violin going to work for you?
So yeah, I mean, I think just even in comparison to the first record, I was very hell-bent on, I should be, this is my voice, this is my instrument, I should be
Right.
playing it all the time,
Right.
kind of like exhausting every little
Moment.
technique I could do. Like, okay, I've already been doing arpeggios, what can I do now? I'll do some harmonics. So I've already been doing harmonics. Now it's like,
Busy.
like exhausting, busy, very, which is cool. I was experimenting a lot.
Right.
But on this record, I kind of wanted to distance myself sometimes from the violin and explore other ways that I could express myself, and
Or make the violin sound.
different, pitching it. I'll always want it in there. We'll always want it in there. But I think I really tried to be more patient with, like, I don't have to be playing it all the time.
And I think that went into like your intention with a lot of the parts you wrote was like, because you're not doing it all the time, hopefully there's more weight when you do get to hear those parts,
Right.
Or more spotlight on those parts.
Yeah.
Which was a nice thing. And Rachel's so much more active playing like the electronic drum set in our live show now, and other toys that I think she's excited about. That then I think it, hopefully, I think it feels special when she gets to bring out the violin, because it's, she wasn't on it the whole time. And
Like sometimes less is more.
right, that kind of space.
The space.
Right. Now lyrically, particularly on songs like maybe Ideas and Listen, I'm wondering who's responsible for those. They almost, I don't hope you don't take this wrong, but it sounds like you're kind of giving self-help or whatever, either to yourself or whoever you're listening to. Is that fair enough?
Yes, definitely.
Gracie is the poet amongst us. She really
Okay.
is the wordsmith in this
I thought so.
Duda ship.
I do think that they are like songs written to the self to help get through, cyclical thinking or anxious introspection, which I deal with quite a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're kind of like notes to self, not trying to like, go out there and be preachy that, we have it all figured out, because certainly don't, and probably couldn't have written, the song without that lack of, I don't know, being able to apply those lyrics, I think is still a struggle. And so sometimes you need to tell yourself to, like, center in and calm down. And yeah, those songs were definitely written from that sort of place.
And so do you get feedback from folks who have listened to the album and these lyrics connect with them at all?
Yeah, it's been really special. We've had people say that, the songs have really helped them in dark places, and just, given them different entry points. I think it's just really cool when you hear that a song resonates with somebody in a circumstance that, it wasn't, necessarily written out of, but hopefully feels connective in those ways. So yeah, it's been really special.
Cool, cool. Now the album is released on Righteous Babe Records, which is Ani DiFranco's label, and
Yeah,
I know. What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And she used to. I heard from her in a while because she used to come to New Zealand quite often and perform here, and I spoke to her a few times and all that. But so how did that connection happen between you guys and her?
We were invited to play her Babe Fest, which is a festival that she puts on or used to put on in Buffalo, New York.
Oh yeah.
Right? No, it was in Provincetown. I always do that. I always get that one wrong.
It was a few years courtship, right?
Yeah, she courted us for a little bit and, vetted us, I think. Got to find out if she liked our touring style and our live set and the different iterations. We've been on the road with her with a drummer. We've also been on the road as a duo, and we got to be on her bus this last time, which was really sweet, just us three. She didn't have her band and we didn't have ours, so it was just the women on the road.
Rocking it on stage.
Yeah. But yeah, we played the Babe Fest was the first time we really met her, and she watched our set from the wings, and then she had us back to play a few shows, like a 3-show run, really short run, and I think we passed the test on that run, and that was what led us to the longer tours that we went on with her. We should probably count how many tours we've done with her, but it's been a few.
Yeah.
And so it was a natural evolution and a natural home for us to move into Righteous Babe world and
right.
our
We
music out
learned so much from her.
Well, that was my next question, because she's been doing her thing for a long time, and I'm sure, and I know she's very opinionated, so I'm sure she has stuff to tell you guys.
No, Ani opinionated. No. Yeah, she's so fierce and inspiring to us. I mean, I think on the road she was just such a force because she knows how she should sound. She knows how it should, the operation should roll. And we learned so much overnight, just like, okay, this is the way that we're supposed to do things. And, just doing more research about our kind of the sound, world that we're trying to express to engineers and people that are translating our sound in the room. And Rachel got really into that and learned a lot more about, the connections on stage that are being made and the frequencies that are coming out. And yeah, we learned a lot of that from Ani. She's wonderful in that way. And just, it's just that you want to have creative control. And I think that's what Righteous Babe is all about.
Absolutely.
Right.
And as women in the industry, we are faced with, a good deal of people telling us how we should sound when we want to be able to have that control. And so
and especially females, because apparently a lot of the industry is still run by males, and they all think that they should know better than.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you've run into any of that or not, but I'm sure it's the case. So
yeah, all you can do is go home and equip yourself with as much knowledge as you can to be able to not allow that in certain scenarios where you don't have maybe the power.
Right. So now you guys are kind of holed up in your loft in Brooklyn, and outside the world is kind of exploding, and I don't know how you feel about that. And so I guess the twofold question: are you kind of affected by everything going on outside, and are you kind of continuing on musically and writing and just kind of doing your thing?
Yeah, I think every day we're a different person. I wake up and I sometimes I feel like we got this. There's like great work to do, and I feel really energized and like I have this positive
Motivation.
and I can see a way forward, and that there is a future. And then some days it feels just like very isolating and lonely. But I think we're so grateful that we have each other, and we are still writing, and we're still able to be creative. So yeah. I think just more, we had to do some of our music videos during this time and change plans that we had made to shoot things in California and whatever. And I think it was unfortunate, but it got some interesting things out of us because we had to do a lot more ourselves, and we edited things ourselves, and we were, limited. We couldn't have the actors we wanted to star in the film and had to do certain things here and there. And so I think it's just pushed us in some good ways, just to keep making and use this time, to be as prolific as possible. Yeah, you really got into the editing room.
Yes.
Video editing room. She edited our last music video called Underneath. So
right. Oh,
That
I'll
was
check it.
her great
I'll post the
debut.
video with the interview here.
Yes,
That's a good plug.
do that.
And had you edited video before?
Little things, but not anything like that. That was a new world. I had to upgrade to Final Cut Pro and get out of iMovie a little bit to get a little more sophisticated with some of the cuts. But yeah, it was really fun. I felt grateful I could offer something because Rachel's been doing so
I think
much more.
I'm hearing that a lot, and I'm even finding it myself that you find that you have the time and the kind of resources to delve deeper into stuff that you kind of just fluffed around with a little bit on the surface. So it's kind of satisfying in that way.
That's what we got. Time.
Yeah.
We got a lot of
That's
it.
a fact.
Everybody keep wanting it. Here we go.
And also nobody else is around even if we wanted them to. So we have to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I'm glad you had time to talk to me. It's very nice to meet you guys.
Absolutely.
Have you ever been to New Zealand?
We haven't. Haven't you invited us yet?
I see. Is that a piano in the back?
I do. We have people play it. Well, we used to until we're locked down. We're doing a bunch of house concerts starting this weekend. So we're excited about that because I can fit about 50 people in here. And
Cool. Yeah.
you're welcome to come and play the piano and your violin and whatever else you got. All right. Well, I'll let you go. Thank you very much for talking to me. I appreciate it. Good luck with the record. And hopefully, you can come down here and play in my living room sometime.
We would love that.
Love it. Thanks so much.